Welcome back everyone to another video in this series type of thing. Um, this time I want to speak to you about why I support Barcelona. Many people wonder um, whether you know it's very you call yourself a fan of a team, but like being a fan of a football team is such an open thing. Any person can say that he's a fan, and no offense to anyone who supports a team without really caring too much about what they do. But I still believe that if you're gonna support a team, you might as well follow it. You might as well follow its matches. And if you love football as a sport itself, you'll find it very useful to, to have yourself related to one team, because then you can exchange emotions and you can exchange such feelings while still watching football, which may be your hobby. So of course, as all other sports work, I think it's very important that if you're planning to watch a certain sport full time, it's very important you pick yourself a team and you start following that team, because it just gives you that sense of belonging to that team, and you'll want to follow its competitions. And by the way, following a team, whatever that is, whether you want to follow a local team in your country, or an international team, the team doesn't have to be anywhere. It doesn't have to be a winning team. It doesn't have to be a team that challenges, because sometimes it's very good to support one of those big teams, because you get that feeling of winning usually, and you can get the chance to watch them play at such high standards and in such big competitions. But sometimes it's also, it's whatever you're really into it. If you want to support a second tier team, or even a lower league team, it's very fine. And as long as you're able to follow that team, as long as you're able to maybe watch some of their matches, to have that feeling of entertainment and enjoyment, yeah, it's all right. So for me, it all started, I think, around 2007, 2008. I was very young at the time, and to be honest, the only relation I had to football as a sport was like playing it, physically, and playing video games. At that time, we did not have a television that would broadcast football matches from any other place in the world other than my own country. So at that time, my only relationship to football as a sport was video games, especially internationally. So I remember the very first game we played, me and my brother. We always used to play. There were two games actually that we always used to play like alternatively. It's FIFA 05 and Pro Evolution Soccer 2006, or Pro Evolution Soccer 6. So of course, at that time I was like around 5 or 6 when these games came out, but we kept playing them until until I was around. I remember at least I was around 9 or 10, and we still used to play the same games, because I don't know. At that time we couldn't really afford buying new games every year. We used to play them on a normal PC. We didn't have any console or anything. Um, yeah, so we used to keep playing. We I don't think we were even we didn't have the knowledge that new games come out every year, and that new releases, but we just kept playing the same games because we enjoyed them. Yeah, so I used to really like Barcelona in game. They were really cool. They had Ronaldinho, one of my favorite players. I think Ronaldinho was one of the main players that really made me like Barcelona and made me want to support the team. Uh, I used to watch videos basically on YouTube of him and his skills, and it was like I was so mesmerized by how a single player can do all of that. I liked everything about him: his personality, his flair, his skills, and yeah, he was just a great player and a person overall. So I would give the why I started liking Barcelona. I would give all the credits to Ronaldinho. So moving on, yeah. And by the way, we also used to play FIFA World Cup. No, FIFA. Yeah, it's the World Cup game of 2002. Yeah, but we also used to play that way older because that time I was only 1 year old when it came out. But yeah, we used to play that at least when I was like 9, 10, around that time. So I remember the very first kit. It was definitely not an original kit. The very first kit I bought was Messi with number 19 on the back, and it was the orange. I don't really remember if it's the second or the third kit at the time, but it was the orange kit with Messi 19 on the back. I really liked that kit. It was the only one I ever owned at that time, and yeah, it was really cool. The next kit I ever bought was Fabregas in Arsenal. Yeah, so that wasn't related to Barcelona, but the very first kit that I ever bought was Messi 19 on the back, and it was orange. So I've discussed how I've started liking Barcelona, but until that time, until all of that, I never really watched Barcelona. I never really watched any of their league games. I wasn't even like I didn't even have the knowledge what where they played. I of course knew they were a Spanish team and everything, but I didn't know like the stadium, nothing. When we as I grew older, maybe around 11, 12, 13, at that time, I only used to watch Barca's games, the important ones like the finals, the Champions League games, the Clásicos. That's it. Normal league games I wouldn't really watch, basically because I still like I still won't consider myself a very like a very active fan. I didn't really watch many games. I just watch from time to time. Yeah, occasionally. And then moving on, I think around 2015. Yeah, 2015 was the time I really I really started watching Barcelona. I don't know. It's just one day that I decided to watch a match, and I really liked how I really enjoyed. I felt in that 1 hour and 30 minutes of the match, I really felt like it was, I felt I was spending my time really wisely, and I really liked it. So I just decided that yeah, I'll start watching maybe every match. There, of course, I'll miss some occasional league games and stuff. Maybe if I'm out or have anything I have to do else. But at that time, I used to watch most of the matches, at least follow the live scores, know the results, know the league table, how it's going, transfers, everything. Like at that time, I really took it seriously. Yeah, yeah, and I enjoyed it. Basically, the main reason that made me do it, because the only thing that happens to you is enjoyment. Even if your team is not winning, at sometimes like when your team is losing, at least like you have your emotions, with one team. So yeah, 2015, 2016, and even 2015, of course, you would know that I'm still an active fan. I know all of the squad players. I follow everything, all the transfers day by day. I watch basically most of the matches. I won't say all of the matches because there's definitely some matches I miss due to yeah, any other thing I have to do. But so far, I think um, you know people wonder why you would like this year, especially Barcelona are definitely not the best team in the world, and I'm not deluded not to know that. It's very apparent that they aren't the best team in the world. However, I even mentioned that before. You don't have to follow a team because it's winning. You don't have to follow a team because it's the best in the world. You can't follow a team and think it's the best in the world because of the feeling that that team winning gives you. And at many times people wonder, like, people keep bragging, no, my team is better, we defeated you, your team is better, whatever. But I still don't think that wherever happens, whatever the outcome is, whatever, if they're winning, if they're losing, if whatever, it's not about glory hunting. It's about having your emotions with that team, and I don't think I can have that emotional connection with any other team. um, Even though it's a choice, it's a choice of choosing whatever team you want to support, but still don't think that I can have the same emotional connection as I have with Barca to any other team. And yeah, I'll keep supporting them, whatever they do, whether they win, they lose. Of course, I hope they win. It brings me joy, it brings me happiness, and I hope they have a great season ahead. And I'm hoping to see great transfers happening. Players that weren't as good the past seasons get their careers revived under new manager. Yeah, and I wish them all the best. I hope they get back on track. And yeah, let's go for it. Another season, another enjoyment, great football hopefully, and great wins hopefully as well. If you have any suggestions, if you want me to discuss your football team, your favorite team, if you want me to suggest any topics you want me to speak upon for the next whatever videos. And thank you so much